Hello, friends. We're here with Ana Loback. So great to have you here in Toronto, Canada, all the way from London, England. How are you feeling?
Good. Yeah.
How are you liking Toronto?
I haven't seen much of it yet, to be honest. But yeah, I did like what I see. We went to the lake, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Very nice. So let's get right into it.
Yes.
So why did you choose to get into Christianity music over any other genre?
I think mostly it was just, for me, it was an easy decision because I started singing in church, and I basically started singing when I was about 15, 16 years old in church, and it just came natural when I started writing songs. All my songs were about God and about what He was doing in my life, and as I was learning how to know God, and as I was growing in my relationship with Him and in my relationship with my faith, it just came naturally as a songwriter. And it's really easy to feel inspired by God to write music. So I'd never even thought about doing music, actually, to be honest. I never made a conscious decision of, I'm going to become a singer, I'm going to become a songwriter. I never did that, actually. I just sat at the piano when I got home, and I started praying and worshiping at the piano, and then I just started writing songs, and it just came as a natural consequence of serving in church, really.
That's amazing. So, right here in my hand, I have your album, Tocar em Ti. It's in Portuguese, but you are coming out with your new album, where it's an English version.
Yeah.
So, no worries.
Yep.
So, what can we expect with your new album?
You can expect, obviously, a very different album from that one, because that one is in Portuguese and the new one is in English. So the first difference is pretty obvious. And it's completely different, obviously, because the last time I recorded an album, when I did that one, it was actually 7 years ago. So I took a long break from recording because I had children in the meantime. And obviously it was just in a different season of life, and that's when I moved to London. And then just being in that very creative environment that is the music London thing just inspired me to start writing again. So this new album that's coming out hopefully in the beginning of 2012 is completely different. It's got a lot of the London vibe into it, obviously, because it's being recorded in London, it's being written in London. And you can expect, again, in terms of the lyrics and the message behind the songs, you can definitely, again, expect a lot of my own journey, my own personal journey with God, and just navigating the different seasons in life that I've been going through. And I just put all of that into my songs, really. So, and hopefully a lot of people out there will relate to these songs, because each song basically has a different context in terms of the journey that I'm going through in life.
Right.
And,
So you would say you draw your inspiration through because God uses you and through your own experiences. What else? Like, would you use, say, if you were reading the Bible verses, would that inspire you to write songs?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think that as Christians, we're actually very lucky in the sense that we're blessed in the sense that we've got so much inspiration, so many things that inspire us to write songs. If you're writing Christian music, because, if you're writing other types of music, it's pretty much you write about I love him, he loves me, or I love him, he doesn't love me. And that's it, right? But with Christian music, it's actually amazing. You've got so much stuff, so much variety, even within God's figure and person and just everything that you can think of inspires you. I mean, the beauty of God, the greatness of God, God's love, Jesus, the fact that, Jesus came to earth and gave his life for us, and just this amazing love is such a huge, big source of inspiration for us. So yeah, I do get inspiration from just even my devotional, my time with God and reading the Bible, and sometimes you get inspiration from someone preaching, for example. It has happened before, sitting in church and listening to the pastor speak, and there's a sentence, there's something that he says that I immediately, and I'm always taking notes when I'm in church. It's something that I always do. I always have like my iPhone or my iPad or something to write on, and I take a lot of notes, and actually sometimes I go through my notes from like being in church and listening to the pastor speaking, and I get inspiration from those notes, and there's something there that, oh man, this is really cool. I could write a song about this right here. So yeah, that's happened in this new album, actually. Yeah, one of the songs, which you'll find out.
Amazing.
When the album is out.
So, do you find there's a lot of challenges putting out like Christian music compared to, right now it's all mainstream sort of deal? Especially like within the radios, it's not very common to hear like Christian singers.
Sorry, what was the question?
So, do you find it a challenge to put out Christian music over?
I don't find it difficult because I don't worry about that. I've got other people doing distribution and all of that. So I really don't even think about it. I write songs, I sing songs, I record, and I just hope that other people will relate to it and will enjoy them. But I don't really worry about that kind of stuff. So I'll let that to other people to worry about.
Right. So, what attracted you to Christianity? Was it more of just, it was like family beliefs that you followed? Or is it just something personal?
Well, I started going to church basically with my mom. My grandmother was actually the first person in the family who went to church and then got saved, and then she invited my mom to go as well, and then obviously my mom got saved, and then she started taking me, myself and my sister with her to church. But in the beginning I went to church, but I had no idea what was going on. I was completely clueless, and I didn't really care, to be honest. I was just a kid. I was very young. I was, going to church, but I kind of enjoyed church as a club kind of thing. We went on Sundays, and, I made some friends, and it was kind of cool, and we had Bible school on Sundays, and, it was interesting. And I kept on going to church on that basis for a few years, actually, until one day I made my decision. I actually stopped to think about what I was doing. And I actually stopped to think about those stories that I heard in Sunday school. And suddenly something happened. And I actually, started reading the Bible with a different perspective. And somehow something happened in me, like a little light bulb moment where it actually clicked, and I actually felt that all of that stuff was actually real. And one day I was really, touched by that love, of God for me. And that's when I decided to give my life to Jesus. And bam.
Been happier ever since.
Yay.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking, what age was it that you actually realized, this is important for me, myself, to go and learn and whatnot?
Yeah, I was about 14 years old, actually. Yeah.
It's amazing. Me, 21. I'm only 22 now, so. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Wow. So, what would you say, what would help the church community bring in more youth today? Because it is so difficult with other things going on. So, how would you attract youth to come in to the church?
I think it is a challenge for church, but it should be definitely a priority for church leaders in particular, and for everyone, to make sure that we are all involved and committed into building a church that is truly attractive and relevant in the context of the modern society that we live in.
Right.
And for that to happen, you do have to be really creative, I think. And you have to think outside the box as, church leaders, I think, need to think outside the box, and they need to look around and see what good stuff is out there, even in the secular, music industry, for example, if we're talking about music. And music is definitely an instrument that God can use to attract people, because everybody likes music. And if you are able to do good music that's going to be attractive and relevant and good quality stuff, will always have an audience.
Right.
So, I definitely think that the church today needs to be relevant. It needs to be relevant in the context of the society, of the community that you're planted in. And we need to be committed, and we need, to invest in that, definitely.
So you've been here. You're here in Toronto because of Metanoia, a youth conference that World Mission Center Church set up. So what advice would you give youth today who are faced with peer pressure and bullying and whatnot?
Well, those are two very different things, peer pressure and bullying. With regards to peer pressure, the only thing really that you can do if you're dealing with that in school or wherever, the only thing that you can do is really learn how to be strong in yourself. And the only way for you to do that, and the only way to deal with peer pressure, is to have good self-awareness. You need to know who you are. And that's something that, teenagers in particular and young people struggle with a lot, because they have a tendency to find their identity in stuff, in things, in possessions, or, having the right trainers, or wearing the right jeans, or, branding is a strong thing for kids, and just, looking cool, or, talking that way, or doing that kind of stuff. You really have to be strong in yourself. And you have to know who you are. It's the only way to do that. So you need to have, good self-awareness, know your identity, know that you're not the stuff that you own, and you're not even what you do, and you need to find your identity and be strong in that. If you're dealing with bullying, that is a very serious thing, definitely. And the one thing that bullying does to people is isolation. Bullying isolates kids, and if you're being bullied, you definitely need to talk to someone and find help, because there's always someone out there who's ready to listen to you. There's always going to be someone out there. And what happens in those situations is isolation. And if you feel isolated, you feel alone, and you feel like no one else would understand what you're going through, and actually that's not true, because we're all in the same boat. And even those kids who are being mean and stuff, they've been bullied as well, and they've been, mistreated as well, and that's why they do that to others. So, there's always someone out there going through the same thing. I was bullied as well growing up in school, because I was so different from everybody else. I'm originally Portuguese. I'm from Portugal, and I'm 5'9". Portuguese women are very short, and I was very tall and very skinny and very different. So I was bullied as well growing up, because, I was different. So they picked on me because I was different. We've all been through that, and you're not alone if you're going through that. You're not alone, definitely not. And just find someone and tell someone and seek help. That's the only way.
Well, Anna, I'd like to thank you so much for being here at Metanoia, the Youth Conference at World Mission Center Church, and for being on Testify. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And if you want to find out more about my new album that's coming out, just go to the website www.analoback.com or to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Ana Loback Music, I think. Or Twitter as well. Just find me on Twitter under Ana Loback.